Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to use glance state definitions to store key value data for your Android widget which is created using Jetpack Glance. So let's get started. Now here you can see I have this one button inside my application. Now this button like I'm using XML layout for my Android application, but the widget is created using Jetpack Glance, so don't worry too much about it. And I have written very little code on this button click, so you can use that inside Jetpack Compose as well. So no big deal. Now what I'll do, I won't click on this button yet. So first I'll create the widget. So I will just go to my application. Again, I'm mirroring my device, so the output is a little laggy, so just bear with me. I'll just click on widgets. Here you can see this is the preview image for our widget. I'll just click on it. I'll click on add, and firstly there is no data, so here you can see counter value is null. Now what I will do is, once the widget is created, I will go to my application and I'll click on this hello world. So this will add some data to our counter value, and now and it will also update our widget. So now if I go to our widget, here you can see the count. So here I'm just displaying system.current time in milliseconds, but you can use whatever value you feel like. Now so the last value is 947, right? 3947. So again I'll go to my application, I'll just click on this button, and if I go here, now it changed 8179. So that was the purpose of this particular video. So let's see how to do this. Now like I told you, I have created an Android application using XML layout or the empty views activity, but you can use Jetpack Compose as well, no big deal. Once that is done, you will have to go to build.gradle.kts, and firstly make sure the compile SDK as well as target SDK are at least 35. That's what I am using. Then if I scroll down, so if you are already using Jetpack Compose, these three things would already be there for you, but I created my application using XML, so I had to add this particular thing inside the Android block. And make sure, even if you are using Jetpack Compose, make sure you use at least 1.5.15 version of Kotlin compiler extension version. So this is very important, you have to update this particular version. Then if I scroll down, here you can see I have just added two dependency for our Jetpack Glance, app widget as well as material 3. So you can just add those two dependencies. Then you will have to go to libs.versions.toml and update the Kotlin version to at least 1.9.25. Once you have updated the Kotlin version, just click on sync now and it will download all the dependencies for you. Once that is done, you can just go to Android manifest, and here you can see I will just scroll down, and here I have added this receiver of name my app widget receiver. So we will have to create this Kotlin file and export it is true. Then here we have to create an intent filter of type app widget update. Once that is done, we also create a metadata, and here you can see we create this a file inside our XML folder called my app widget info. Now we'll have to create the XML folder two more times apart from the one which is already present, and we also need to create this my app widget info 3 times in all the 3 XML files, because there are some attributes which are only available from HDK 28 and our main HDK is 24, and some attributes are only available from HDK 31. That's the main reason. Also for our preview image inside res drawable, I have taken this image, but feel free to use whatever image you feel like. Also inside our layout, I have created one XML layout called custom error layout. This is just to fall back in case our Jetpack Glance throws any error, so you can use whatever you feel like. Now this has to be done via XML. Even if you are using Jetpack Compose as your main Android application, you have to write this within XML. So you will have to create a layout folder, and inside that you will have to create this custom error layout.xml. So yeah, just create this particular file, and it is very simple. I have kept things simple, like just saying error displaying widget, but if you want you can take an image view as well. Don't make it too complicated. Like there are only few XML widgets which are supported. I think text view, image view are definitely supported. I'm not sure about button, but you can check that. So once these two are done, you will have to go to project drop down, go to your app, src, main, res, and here you just have to right click, new directory, and just name it as xml-v28. v28. I have already created it, that's why it is showing me an error. Once that is done, also create xml-v31. again I have already created this. So firstly, inside XML you will have to create this XML file. So just right click new file, and you can name it as my app widget info. So I have already created this. Similarly you will have to do for xml-v28 and xml-v31 as well. So first we go to XML's my app widget info. So here you can see that I have created this app widget provider. I have given it so these are the boilerplate code which you have to write. So update, so after how many times you want to update our widget, after what is the mean height, what is the mean width, mean resize height, mean resize width. For description, don't hard code over here. You will have to refer the strings.xml file. So go to values, strings.xml, and just like we have this particular key value pair, you will have to create a key value pair in case if you want to give a different description. For now I am just referencing the app name as a description. Then initial layout, this is the layout which you saw. Once I created a widget, for a second or two it displayed the loading progress bar with a white screen. That is this glance default loading layout, but if you want you can change it as well. And the preview image I have already shown you. Similarly for xml-v28 as well, here I have done the same thing. The only thing extra which we have added is this widget features. Again, I'm not really sure about this widget features, but yeah, if you know, do let me know in the comments. So rest everything remains the same. And for xml-v31, we have added this max resize height, max resize width, target cell width, and target cell height as well. So these are the extra things which we have added. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Now so we have completed this particular part. Now coming back to this part, so for that you can just go to the Android drop down. Firstly I will show you my main activity. So here you can see that inside our activity underscore main, I have just created one button and I have given it some ID. Okay, now I'm referencing that button inside our onCreate method, and I'm applying one click listener to it. So once our button is clicked, we are launching an IO dispatcher, and we are trying to find the glance widget which we have created. So here is our glance widget called my widget. So whatever name you have given, you will have to use it over here. I have not shown you the code yet, but I'll show you the code in a bit. So whatever is the name of your my widget file, in my case it is my widget, so I'm referencing my widget over here, but whatever name you have given, make sure you update that. Then I'm just looping over it and then updating our app widget state, and this is the data which I'm storing. So the data type is of long, and the key name is now. So same thing we will have to use inside our Android widget as well. And here you can see whenever the button is clicked, I am assigning this particular value, but you can assign whatever value you feel like. You can also take string. I have just taken long, so in case if you want, you can just take the string preference key as well. Make sure sorry, I will just remove this, something like this. But again, now here this also needs to be changed to string. So then you will also have to make changes inside your Jetpack glance. So it is pretty simple. I'll just move it back to long preference key. Okay, and here you can see, yeah, and then we are just updating our widget. So again, this is my widget name. So pretty simple. On this is the code on our button click. Now coming back to our Jetpack glance code. So firstly we have to create this my app widget receiver, which we were referencing inside our Android manifest.xml file. So over here, so I have created that. I am referencing glance app widget receiver. We are overriding this particular method variable called glance app widget, and that I am assigning it to our my widget Kotlin file. So again, I have created another Kotlin file called my widget. Again, these are so these are all the imports for it. Also I've just wanted to show you all the imports for our main activity as well. So these are the imports for our main activity in case if you are interested. Again, coming back to our my widget, so these are all the imports. Again, you can just copy paste all these imports if you want to. If you are using Jetpack Compose, be very careful. Do not add a Jetpack Compose dependency inside your Android widget, otherwise it will throw an error and you will see our error screen which we have created inside custom error layout. So that might waste a lot of your time. Here you can see most, apart from these three, all dependencies of of our widget code is from Glance. So all of these are from android-x.glance. Okay, then here we can see we are extending glance app widget. Now given that we want to use glance state definition, so we have to override this particular thing as well. And here I'm just overriding this particular method called provide glance. Then we use this provide content as well. Then I'm just getting the current state with the help of preferences. And if you remember, we were using long preference key inside over here, so same thing I'm using over here as well. And what was the key name? Now again, you can change the key name to whatever you feel like, so I'm using now over here. Same thing I'm using over here. If you want to add a null check, you can do that as well. And here we are just taking our glance theme. Here I have taken our scaffold. I'm displaying our title bar, and this is the background color for it. Then we have taken one column as well, and inside text I'm just displaying whatever value is present inside the now variable. And this is how I'm just styling it as well. This doesn't really work, I don't know why, but same code when I write it on a button click, it works. So this works, but this does not work, I don't know why. I think there is some issue with the dependencies of Android widget used with Jetpack Glance. Hopefully that get resolved future. In case I'm doing something wrong, do let me know in the comments. So yeah, this is our button click. And here I'm also overriding this on composition error, and here we are referencing our the layout file which we have created, and whatever error is getting thrown, we are just displaying inside that. So over here I'm displaying that, and then just updating our app widget again. So yeah, that's it on all the code side. So yeah, that's it for glance state definition. Now there is another way to do the same thing called preferences. I'm not really sure what is the correct way. I think glance state definition is the correct way, that's why I've shown it to you first. But I have created another Android project. It is exactly the same what I have shown you just now. So if I quickly show you again, I have using XML layout, but you can use whatever you feel like. So inside build.gradle I have updated to compile HDK, target HDK. Alright, so I have just made the compile HDK and target HDK is 35. Then I have just added this thing as well, and then I have added these dependencies. Then same thing inside Android libs.versions.toml I have updated Kotlin version as well. Inside Android manifest I have added this receiver thing as well. Inside our res I have added those XML file 3 times, which I have already shown you. So this is for v28 and this is for v31. Everything remains the same. Then inside our code, here you can see the only thing, my app widget receiver code also remains the same thing. Now coming to our main activity, here also I have that same button, and but here what I am doing is that I am just storing two values. I mean, you can store one value as well. It's just for the sake of it I took two values, but what I'm doing is that I'm just getting the current time in millisecond, then I'm converting it to a proper date. So I want to save this current time millisecond as well as formatted date as well. I mean, you can do this same thing using glance state definition as well, no difference. And here you can see I'm just finding our widget, then I'm looping over it, and then I'm updating our widget state. So here I'm getting this preferences, and this is our key. So I have defined this key inside our my widget, which I will show you shortly. So for key quote I'm just using this current time millis, and for key topic I'm using this formatted date, and here we are updating our widget. So this is the important part which I have changed. Here we are using this preferences, and I think behind the scene it uses preferences data store. Same thing happens for glance state definition as well. I could be wrong, but yeah. And next inside our my widget, so again these are all the imports for it in case if you are interested. And the only thing difference is here I have defined one companion object for key topic and key quote. So it is of string preference key, so it is more or less the same. In a glance state definition I was using long preference key, but in that also you can use string preference key, and here if you want you can use long preference key as well. So it's your choice. Then here inside provide content we are just getting that current state by passing the respective keys. If there is no data, then I'm just displaying this particular thing. And if you see this particular scaffold is same, column is same, only the text which I'm displaying is different. rest everything remains the same. So this is our button as well, and here this is on composition error, and here we are just updating our widget in case if there is anything goes wrong. And for that the same layout file also I have created. So this one, if I show you guys the code, so this one, and inside drawable I have also added this preview image. So everything remains the same apart from this particular thing where I'm getting, and this thing which I have defined, and the way I'm updating the data from our main activity. So I'll just quickly show you guys the output. Again, the output will be more or less the same thing. There is not much difference. So I'll just quickly remove everything from this and show you guys my running device. Hopefully this should be pretty quick. Yeah, sorry about the delay. Let's just wait for a few seconds. Okay, so here is the output. Now again I'll just go to my application. I will just long press on it. Again I'm mirroring my device, so the output is little laggy. Sorry, I'll just long press on it. I'll click on widgets. This is the preview image for it. I'll click on add, and here you can see it has added the widget for us, and by default there is no data inside it. That's why it is displaying like this. Now if I just go to my application again, and if I click on hello world, and now if I go to our widget, and here you can see the display text. Here we are displaying the system.current time in millisecond, and inside the topic we are actually displaying the actual date. So yeah, so I'm not really sure which one is the preferred way. I think the glance state definition is preferred way, but behind the scene I think both of them might be using preferences data store. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.